time, I wasn't quite sure what I'd find living.
Hello, welcome to Album Deep Dive with Jason and friends. And I got my brother, my friend, Mike Terrace back again.
What's up?
All right, and today we are doing an album that, my God, it's so easy to do because this is such a classic. Warrant, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich. Right there, the album, the famous album cover. You can see it?
Yeah, I do. I put my glasses on, but I see it.
Yep, which I have right here, the album. This is actually, no, I don't know if it's original pressing, but it's definitely from back in the day because it's not the new vinyl. But it's so funny.
Okay.
You know where I got this? When we were
Please tell me the Red Rocker and Brick.
No, when we were wrestling at one of the flea market that has the record shop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So before the show, I was like, "Oh, let me go." I used to go and try to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And this was hanging on the wall, and I was looking for it for years, and I paid $74 for it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now they reissued it and they sell it for like 30.
Well, my second guess was going to be the Route 1 flea market.
Oh my God, I love that place.
There were some gems in there.
Yeah, that was what the great Spanky Arbuckle did before a wrestling show. Buy high-priced used vinyl. All right, so staple album here. Ground, the Ground album for them, 1988. Lineup was Jani Lane, Joey Allen, Eric Turner, Jerry Dixon, Stephen Sweet on drums. But there's a lot of speculation and rumor, which I don't know. I think it's almost true. Only none of them played on the album. It was all
that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, kind of sad because I've seen them live a lot of times. Yeah. They know how to play. They were a good band.
Absolutely.
Released January 31st, 1989. I thought it was actually 88. I don't know why.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, recorded in April and between April and November 1988. So I guess that's when they were recording it. But I think it was supposed to be delivered in 88, but then Jani had a massive breakdown in recording the album that held up production. And that was doing to see his girlfriend cheated on him or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I saw Red.
Yeah, which got that, spawned that, and it was recorded at Enterprise in Burbank. Beau Hill, which was a very popular '80s producer, did a lot of different bands, glam metal band. Pretty much started in the mid '84. I think Warrant started, but didn't get the record deal until like '88.
And when did you say that was released?
In 1989. Yeah,
do you know what month that was? It summer? I want to say it was.
Oh, it was January 31st.
Oh, nowhere near summer. I was completely wrong.
Yeah, so
I should have did a little bit of research before we started.
That's okay.
I told Tracy, I said, I'm just going to wing everything. There you go.
It was very catchy album. Heartbreak, sex, loneliness, your typical, party 80s album. Did reach number 10 on the Billboard. Sold 2 million copies, which is really good because nowadays bands don't even sell 500,000.
Yeah, and the fact that this kind of came out as everything was kind of on that downward spot. I mean, I know it still went on until 92, 93-ish, but that 89 is they should have been releasing their second album by then, So it was a shame, like you said, they didn't get signed earlier than they did.
Yeah, it's crazy because if you think about it, Warrant is always explained as like a hair metal band, 80s band, right?
Right.
But when you look at it, their album came out at the last year And you didn't
Yeah.
really it doesn't, nothing takes off January 1st when you're a nobody. They had to build up
Right.
the memento. So you're talking, they really almost were like a 90s band.
Yeah, pretty
You know,
much.
because
Because Cherry Pie came out in 90?
not Cherry Pie's like 1991, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even think about it back then. You just think everything came out in the 80s back then.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had the 80s style. They
Yeah.
had, and I mean, and then this
Oh, they're
album had,
totally a hair band. I mean, there's no denying that.
but,
But they got a little blues in them too, though, kind of like Cinderella.
yeah, but it's so incredible
Sorry.
with this band how they did the first two albums, like Cherry Pie and Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich, as like a hair metal band. But man, they went hard on Dog Eat Dog, which is
Yeah.
late, and then
Okay.
Ultraphobic and Belly to Belly was very alternative. I felt
It was. It was, but you know what? I love those albums too. They don't really get talked about a lot, but I like them a lot. Like I'll still listen to some of them today. If I'm driving, I'll just put it on YouTube.
I mean, Warrant never put out a bad album in my mind.
No, I don't think so.
And I've been really enjoyed the last couple months. There's a record company place that's been reissuing their later albums, and they just put out the vinyl of Ultraphobic, and then at the end of this month, Belly to Belly comes out on vinyl, and that's just like, it's credible, like that. Even their older albums are getting attention.
Yeah,
but
that's all cool and stuff. But like you're kind of just confined to listening to that in your house, It's not like you're gonna pop it in unless you have a really big CD player in your car or something.
Yeah, well, it's so true. Like, I mean, that's what the great thing about vinyl. I mean, I love digital because you have it on your phone. You can go anywhere, drive, do anything with it, work out.
Those long trips we take from the north of Florida to the south, all the way across the west up to Clearwater and back.
Yeah,
in a day. Let's go 400 miles in one day.
Yeah. Let's just go to a bar on 400 miles.
Yeah, let's hit both the Hogan shops too.
Oh God, So I mean, it's nice, but when you truly, I have to say, when I play the vinyl, like when we were doing the Poison one a couple of weeks ago, I was listening to my computer open up and say, then one part of the day I went and put out the vinyl on, and what a difference in sound, Yeah,
I have noticed that when you were playing vinyls when I've been at your house, and it definitely sounds a lot clearer. I like the sound.
Yeah. And speaking of the Poison episode, which just aired, and it looks like we got some viewers, which was great for a first episode.
It's good.
You also have something that you forgot from the show.
Oh, the shirt. Yes. I have it here. Like I said it would. I'll show you the back first. Let me know if you can see it, because I'm like
a little more
myself here.
So this is
that's the back. I got this at the show that night. And like I said to you earlier, before we started recording, I had to cut the sleeves off because I'm not fitting into it today.
Muscle, man. And so this is a 1988-89 tour Poison shirt.
Yeah, this is their first headlining. I think Tesla opened.
Nice.
But it was at the Art Center.
Which is crazy, because Brett just played with Tesla in Florida.
Yes, I saw that.
All those years later. Wow, that's cool. Unfortunately, this is like maybe 3 years old. I just saw Warrant. It was the first time I saw them without Jani.
Oh, okay. How was it?
It was good. I mean, it was. I mean, nothing will beat all the times I've seen them with Jani Lane. I mean, I saw them.
Well, his voice just amazing.
Yeah,
like he live sounded just like, or sometimes better than the albums did.
And he had such good showmanship, a good front man.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
A fun, good, down to earth, I told you that story when we saw him at Birch Hill in Old Bridge. Remember on Route 9?
Yeah.
So me and my buddy Harry was with me, and he's doing cherry pie, and he's all of a sudden he disappeared. I'm like, where the hell did Jani go? And my buddy Harry's going, Mike, and he's elbowing me, and I'm looking like this. He's going, Mike, and it finally went, what? And he goes. So I turned this way, and Jani Lane was standing right next, puts his arm around me, puts the microphone, and we both start singing Cherry Pie. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
So this poor kid just trying to tell me, like, he's right here. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. I think we both saw them, not together, but we both saw them for the Cherry Pie with Poison, right? Where they opened up.
Yeah, I saw him at Meadowlands.
Yeah, me too. I was at that same show. That was the first time I saw them, which was so nice to see them in the stadium type of show. Yeah,
and they're my two favorite bands at the time too. So that was like a dream come true for little 15-year-old me, however old I was. What was that, 90?
Yeah, it was 90. I was like, so though the awesome thing about Warrant was in the 90s, they played New Jersey clubs constantly, where I got to see them for Dog Eat Dog, I got to see them for Ultraphobic, I got to see them Belly to Belly. Every tour, the lineups changed, which was kind of sad, but they also incorporated a lot of good people. You know, like I remember the last Bobby Borg was the last drummer they had when they did Belly to Belly, and he was a phenomenal drummer and phenomenal guy. Somewhere in the 90s, Warrant did a thing where they had a Warrant fan club. And I can't remember, it was like something stupid, like $25 for the year.
Yeah.
And I wrote the check, sent it out.
I was going to say, so how did you pay?
I got a card mailed to me that says VIP backstage.
You froze.
You
got a what? You froze up for a second there.
I got a backstage pass sent to me, a card, and it said good for any Warrant show. So
was it a rib?
No, every time I played the club, I showed it. They called the manager over, but I got my backstage pass, and I would hang out with the band, sit there on the couch with Jani, drinking their beers, eating their food in the back.
Oh, that's awesome. That'd be great, though, if that was a rib and you had all these people just showing up. Like, well, we're here now, so we might as well buy a ticket.
Well, I used to, so it was good just for me, but I used to go with my friend Shannon, my friend Danielle, and I would sneak them in with me, and all three of us would go and hang out in the backstage. But it was cool. It was a lot of good times. I said, I met the band multiple times, drank beer with them, really cool people.
Well, that blows the hell out of my stupid story of him just standing next to me.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Good years, that's for sure. All right, let's get down to this album. I know we talked a little bit about it, but let's go. There's the back cover and front cover. 32 pennies, if you count it. And why is that?
I had that shirt, too, that Mr. Moneybags. I had that shirt.
Yes, yeah, I did, too. That is love that design.
Yeah.
Oh, we just skipped one. Here we go. 32 pennies. Opening lines. Is it spend my time?
Spend my time, all my money.
On the knob.
On the knob for my best bed.
Yeah. 32 pennies in a ragu jar. Great lyrics.
I just listened to the whole album while I was showering and getting ready. That's why I knew the words of that one.
Yeah, I mean, great chorus. Great guitar riff in the very beginning,
Yeah.
I really.
It's a good way to open up an album. Like it catches you right away. It's a catchy tune. It's not slow. It's it's good.
Yeah, and it's nice because like you hear that guitar riff, you just know good times coming. That it just like almost like it gives you the same feeling as the starting a Wild Side by Mötley Crüe.
Right.
Yeah, and in seeing them live, you used to just go, yes, because they played this, man, even though this wasn't a single, this was a song that stayed on their set list almost their whole entire career.
Yeah.
Almost should have been.
And I think too, like I had a Warrant, it was an old VHS, and it was like them live at some water park. It was really weird. But then they cut to different scenes with Mr. Moneybags, like he was a real person with that ridiculous, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and he's like backstage and trying to steal money, and I'm like, what the hell is going? But I think they played it on that video too.
Yeah, it was I think it was called Warrant, Rotten, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich Live. But
Yeah,
you're right,
I think so.
it was, a mixture of I think the videos, the live performance,
Yeah.
the storyline of Mr. Moneybags. It was really good. I mean, that's something that's missing nowadays. I mean, they could do it digitally, but near the end of the 80s, all those bands were putting out these great DVD compilations.
Yeah. What I like what they did with that video too was how he was playing songs that he was supposed to do on Cherry Pie. But they never made it to Cherry Pie.
Yes.
And I think a couple of those songs that he played were better than the ones that they decided putting on the album.
Yeah, I know one of them.
We can talk about that when we talk about Cherry Pie, I guess.
Well, one of them we wound up on Dog Eat Dog, which was Let It Rain.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, you go right to the first single, the classic Down Boys.
Yeah. Did we ever find out where they went to?
I have a feeling. I just don't know if I try to keep it PG. But I think I know where they went down to. Fishtown.
Oh,
Sushi time.
that's in Philly, you know.
And another one, great lyrics. Just it's funny because can we rewind where we've been? It doesn't. It almost sounds like it shouldn't fit, but it fits so well.
Right.
The way he placed it in the melody, like.
It's also his cadence and the way he pronounces everything too.
Yeah. Because he really didn't have like a super strong singing voice, but he had a really good voice.
I thought his voice was amazing. Yeah, like those high notes that he could hit, like him and Sebastian are like the two that come to mind. That who had strong like a screaming thing, kind of.
Yes, I mean Sebastian definitely, I think, held the especially the mid '90s. The late '90s. He was like the king of loud projector voice. Jani's voice was incredible. I mean, that's one of the things that drew me to the band. But it's just I don't know. I like it because it's not so over the top, and he sings like you could tell he sings from the heart and not trying to just show off his range.
Yeah, it seems like he's being himself instead of putting on a performance.
Yeah. And I mean, this song was just the opening guitar riff, the ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. I mean, it's just
the drums. Yeah,
drums. I mean,
we would try to play that like when we were in high school and we were walking to lunch or walking back from lunch. We'd sneak into the band room and we'd sit down and then try to get it. We could never get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just a classic '80s song that I don't think gets airplay anymore. Because you usually hear Cherry Pie or Heaven, but really should be on these on classic rock stations all the time, I feel.
They play it in here on like the Philly market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Florida, they kind of, you kind of hear the Heaven and the Cherry Pie, which are great songs, but I love the song.
You got to get like Hair Nation on XM or something for it.
Yeah. The problem is with Hair Nation is they play this. You can make like your own Hair Nation set list because they play the same songs over and over and over.
That's why I always just play my own stuff.
Yes, me too. And and this is one that I can't just like turn on Down Boys and say, let me skip the rest of the album. If this album if I'm going to go to it, I'm playing the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have another single, which I will tell you, this is the single that got me into them. When I first heard them, I really wasn't, for some reason, Down Boys went right past me, and sometimes She Cries went past me, and Heaven I thought was okay. It wasn't until Big Talk that I said, I got to buy this album.
They did do a video for that, didn't they?
Yes, they did. It was last
Yeah,
week.
now that you said that, like I can see it in my head, like the vid, but I never would have remembered that they did. Like I said before, I probably should have did 5 minutes worth of research before we started recording.
But that's what I'm here for. I got your back. Yeah, so they did a video for it, which is crazy because it was most the most unpopular single out of all four.
Yeah.
But it was the one that sold me to the band and the album.
Wow.
And then I went back and was like, okay, I fell in love with the other songs. But this was really, and I don't know why. I mean, it's
I was gonna say, it's funny how this brought you to it, and you're like, Heaven was okay. Like that was a huge monster ballad hit for them, like you could have got my dad, who was in 1990 or 40, 50, 60, like 61 or 62, until he was a teacher, and he'd be walking down the hallways and he'd be singing Heaven, and like kids would come up, like they're like, your dad's so cool. I'm like, what? They're like, he was singing Heaven in the hallways. I'm like, oh, okay,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, too, and it's basically about a song about a guy that gets like in a fight, and I'm not I think I'm not a big fighter, I'm all for the scripted fighting, but I'm not, I was not a big
sports entertainment.
Yeah, sports entertainment. But I'm not a big fan of like violence. So it was funny that this was the song that tracked me to them. Sometimes She Cries. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's a great song. And the video it tears on your heartstrings too. Tugs on your heartstrings.
It'd be curious to would have been able to sit down with Jani and go, okay, tell the story about this.
Yeah.
Great pop song. Great. Great lyrics, great guitar, great everything on this. Very catchy.
Yeah. Like you said, like you would have loved to sit down and pick his brain about it. Like he would have been great on podcasts these days,
Yeah.
Like, that would have been good. We may find out where the Down Boys went.
Yeah. There's probably 100 stories about all these songs, and Jani was originally from Ohio, so like when I hear this type of song, like it really gives me that, like, not that it's a country song, but it just gives you that down home kind of Midwest feeling of a girl down on her her luck.
The country song's a little later in the album.
Yes, yeah. So this is really a good song.
Yeah.
So Damn Pretty Shouldn't Be Against the Law. A hidden gem, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one to open with too.
Yes.
That's like a live show. I'm talking about an album, but a live show. It's fast, upbeat, it's fun, get everybody into it and set the tone. Like we do in wrestling, first match sets the tone for everything. And sometimes you got to bring it down, then you bring it back up. But it's the same thing. It's all entertainment. You want to keep the people interested,
Yeah, the tempo on this song, I always really enjoyed it. It never really slows down. It just keeps on going.
Yeah.
It's like you start it and then the end is like there just within seconds, it seems like, even though it's a couple of minutes long, but it's just so good. And he does sing kind of fast, so it's not necessarily, it's hard to catch some of the lyrics, but then when you sit down and you read the lyrics, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to read them to understand all of them.
Yeah. I've seen them play this, and just awesome. And I think this has been back in the set list. I know with the new singer, because they really they did concentrate really on both first albums a lot. They seem to only be concentrating on the first 3 albums, but that's another story because most of the band lineup changed. It's so sad though that they still they perform as the original band with they just don't have Jani.
Yeah.
Title track, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich.
Yep.
This song, I like this song. It's obviously named after the album. It gives the theme. But so far out of all the other songs that we've talked about, this would be really not one of my big favorites.
Yeah, no, it's not one of mine either. I don't know what it is. It's just the sound, or I think maybe because it's up and down and up. Like it's not a constant, like you said before. Like So Damn Pretty, it's constant. Like it never lets up. This, I think, is kind of like all over the place.
Yeah, like I think if they didn't have the Mr. Moneybags and the whole, making it the title of the album, and I think it would have been a song that just would have like kind of faded. But it was because of it. It was always played when I saw them.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And I think the intro is probably the highlight of the song, honestly. Where they, say dirty, rotten, filthy, which was so popular, they used it for the intro for the next album.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
So, So yeah, a song. Again, this is not an album that I say skip a song on, but I think when you're listening to the whole album, you're gonna go,
yeah,
all right. When's this gonna
This is when you go in the kitchen and get yourself a snack or a drink.
Yes. Take the phone call.
Song.
Write a text.
It's a merch stand song.
In the Sticks. I
love it.
This one.
Love it. Yeah, that's a country song that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes you just think of back road going through cornfields and wheat fields and the cattails. We had cattails growing up in the Jersey Shore too, down over the bay. But we always used to take them and light them up, like they would burn and keep the mosquitoes away.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I hear it, still it just takes me right back there.
Yeah, I love this song. Definitely you can tell this is his Ohio roots.
Yeah.
One I've never seen them play. I would love it. I this would be so cool. And again, this had good tempo, all along.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I ever saw him play this.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I know that they probably have with the new singer because I think they played the whole album, but I don't think it's going to be, YouTube's a good thing because there's a lot of good YouTube performances of Warrant to watch.
There is a lot of live Jani like solo too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I remember we saw him once in Philly, and this had to be like 99, 2000, maybe like around that era. Huh? And he came out, he had this giant mohawk, must have been like 2 feet high. And I remember whoever I was with, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? I'm like, oh my God. So that's kind of where I could see where you're talking about earlier is like, oh, they're a hair band, but they're also, I'm like, yeah, went that night. You would, I'm like, this is a punk band,
Yeah, he really did. Like, I know he had a lot of struggles after the 90s, and we can get into that a little bit after the tracks, because it is sad, and how a lot of these songs tore him apart. Heaven is the probably most popular, other than Cherry Pie, song. I believe this one was I think this one went number 1. I can't I should have had that written down, but I think it was a number 1 song. Used, I know, in commercials. I've seen it used in commercials. This is a great hair ballad.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Absolutely.
I just love that.
It's one of the. It's got to be top. It's definitely top 10.
Yeah, the hair metal ballads. This is definitely top 10. I love that I got a picture of your house. That right there just kind of shows you again, that you could just picture Jani taking a picture of somebody's house that, I want to remember because I had good memories there or something.
Yeah. And did you notice though that it's the beginning on the album and in the video are different? Have you noticed that the guitar riff and even the way his cadence with is black and white and faded, the way he draws out faded, and then he's standing by the door and he draws out door, like he doesn't do that on the album. I actually like the video version better than the album version.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I kind of forgot about that. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was good at kind of changing things too around like that. You know, I Saw Red. He had 2 different versions, and
yeah.
What was it, Bitter Pill?
But when he would do Heaven live, he would do the video version.
That was one of the things I always liked about him live, is that he also altered his lyrics a lot live. And like when he would do this song, and he would say, never mind what your friends may say, then the whole crowd would go, fuck them. I'll beat that out later.
You have to blow my hands on too.
Yeah. and he did that on a lot of these songs. I mean, I could sit here because I also have the live album, and you can hear it on the live album that they did in the 90s. He would Machine Gun was funny. Because he would say in the song, I would, I love you like a little machine gun, but then he would say, I'll eat your blank like a machine gun when he would play it live, and he'd be like, yes, you are the man.
Oh, Jimmy, you are a card.
Ride 'em High, good one. Not a very popular one, I'm sure. If you ask,
no, I was going to say it's one you kind of forget about until you're listening to the album again.
Yeah. I really I like this. And this was a theme that he held on to when he did Doggy Dog with Ride, because it's all about, again, high speed, fast riding.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good track. I think it deserves more than, most people will give it.
Yeah, it's definitely not one I would skip, if I'm listening to the album.
No, it's too catchy. Kind of goes right into it, and it fits, Yeah. Cold Sweat, another good one.
Yeah. You know what it is? I think they had so many good ones on this album. So like I guess ones that aren't as strong kind of just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good one. I don't necessarily think it's the I would say, yeah, I mean, I don't want to knock it down, but I mean, it might be it's number 10. It might be my number 10 too for the album.
I was going to say, after Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich, this is the one I like the least.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of almost agree with that, in the sense, I think maybe Dirty Rotten Stinking Filthy Rich should be the last, but Cold Sweat was I like Cold Sweat. And then I know that there's a bonus one.
I was going to say, I never knew that until tonight when I was listening to the album. Yeah, there's 2 bonus tracks.
Yeah, there's 2 bonus tracks. I
didn't really like them.
Yeah, you can see why they were left off.
Yeah, it was a good decision.
Yeah, not one of my, not my favorite. It's the same thing with Cherry Pie. Because when I found out there was bonus material for Cherry Pie, I was kind of like, oh, because they did a cover of Train on that, and you were like, why did you do a cover? Just put one of the originals. But then again, and again, I know that's a different album, but Cherry Pie with Train, I would have cut that in a minute and put on Thin Disguise, without a doubt.
Yeah, they wound up releasing that one, like one of the, remember the singles?
Yes.
We would buy one song for like $3.
And that belonged on the album.
Yeah, it was a good song. Yeah.
Yes.
It made it onto like one of their greatest hits or something, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's the greatest hits, which is basically the first 2 albums and like 2 songs off the third.
And another one where you go back to talking about houses. Heavy, you were just saying, got a picture of your house in Thin Disguise. How's that one start?
Yeah.
This house,
Yeah, this how that yeah, that's such a I don't know what see this is the
Like a
crazy
running theme with him.
yeah. And you don't know with him with where things were written because Sad Teresa, which was on the third album, right, which was in '92. There's
Was it
videos of
92?
them playing that in 1987.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you really don't know when, like, he really held songs and used them later, and
Yeah.
which I think is so awesome when a band does that. You know, especially when you think about 1988, and then I'm sorry, 1989. I'm 89. This is out, and then the next year, Cherry Pie's out. Like, half of that could have been songs already written.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
what's
this band is,
weird is, like you said, they played that live in '87. But
Mhm.
if you put that on a album in '80s, like it doesn't sound like a glam. Like it
No,
didn't fit for the era, you know. But where he released it, it fit perfect.
yes. And that happens where bands go like, they have a song, but it doesn't fit the album, so they save it for the next.
Yeah.
You know, um, yeah. And like I said, we were talking earlier about, so you had a lot of downfalls. I mean, they went from top of the world to with this, this album in Cherry Pie to like
Yeah.
dropped for the third,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it really, I never saw. I saw so many people talk about it, but out of all the '80s bands, I think he was definitely hit the hardest by it.
And he even talks about it in Cherry Pie. They made another home video, and he talked about it in that. Have you seen that? Where
Yeah.
he goes, I remember going in for Cherry Pie, in the president's office or whatever, the record company, and behind his desk, he said, huge, giant blow up picture of Cherry Pie. He goes, when we released the next album, I went in, and he goes, behind his desk, huge, big poster for Alice in Chains. He's like, I knew we were done.
Yeah. And it's such a shame because, he wrote great songs.
Yeah.
There's rumor now that unreleased material is going to start surfacing. I think that he did in his '90s.
Oh,
'Cause,
okay.
yeah, I know there was a lot written. Um,
It
but
sucks that he couldn't hold out, like it, and because like we talked about last time, like the last 10 or 15 years, all these '80s guys are just they're constantly touring. Like he would have been back in that spotlight and probably more popular than they were back then, because they were really around for a short time if you think about it.
oh yeah, I mean the original band, they're like I
Yeah,
said, not '89 to what '92, they were done.
yeah,
I mean I know they were together a couple years before that.
yeah. They got together, then they broke up again. They got but yeah, that first it was really like a 3-year run.
Yeah, after '95, they got back together as the original band, and they did some '96. I'm sorry, after '96, and they did a short tour. And Jani wound up getting. I don't know if he got quit or got fired, um, because of his drug and alcohol use, and he died shortly. I think after that, or
Yeah,
but he never could reconnect with them. And I remember seeing some of it because he did some Celebrity Fit Club, and
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
he really was a hot mess. And I saw videos of him his last performances, and I mean not that he was performing bad. I mean I enjoyed it, but he definitely there was things weren't right with him.
Yeah. Is that the one where he's like in that black button down shirt? That show?
It might be. I
It was in
can't.
LA, I think.
I know that like I because even in the mid '90s, seeing them, like I watched him. I don't know if he was before playing Heaven or I Saw Red, and like stopped it in the middle of it. Was like I don't want to play this, and he took out the guitar and got an electric guitar and was like
Yeah.
rocking it. Like you could tell he really these are such great songs, but they really I don't know. I guess when you're so good at, you put out something so good and then it's trashed later, I guess it's heartbreaking.
Sure,
You
sure.
know?
Yeah, you pour your heart and soul into something. It's, it means a lot to you personally.
Yeah. So out of this album, what would you say was your favorite track?
I, that's a hard one too. Like I love Down Boys. I love Heaven. I love In the Sticks, and I think my fourth favorite is we were just talking about before. I said it's a great song to open with. It never stops.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Damn Pretty should be against the law.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
four I really, really like. So Damn Pretty, In the Sticks, Down Boys, and Heaven. Gun to my head, I'd probably say Down Boys.
Okay. Now I know I mentioned that Big Talk got me into the album, well, got me into the band, but years later, and even when I started to listen to the whole album, I'm gonna say my absolute favorite is So Damn Pretty.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we both got that in our list then.
Yeah, I think that's definitely my top. I think Down Boys would be second. Heaven, I love Heaven, but it's a ballad, and I don't know. I just think there's so many, like 32 Pennies, Down Boys, Big Talk, So Damn Pretty. I could put them all before Heaven.
Yeah.
And I definitely
Well, nobody's perfect, but I mean,
yeah.
We're still friends. It's okay.
And then Warrant albums. Where do you rank this in their category?
It's either 1A or 1B, because I think that and Cherry Pie are pretty much neck and neck.
Okay.
I would. I'm trying to think of everything that's on Cherry Pie now, but
really good.
Yeah, like Uncle Tom's Cabin, Cherry Pie, I Saw Red, Blind Faith. I think maybe Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich. I was number one.
Yeah. For me, and I think this is gonna, you're gonna be like, whatever. This is probably my number 3.
Yeah, I know you like their other ones a lot.
Yeah, Ultraphobic is definitely my. And I used to say Doggy Dog was my favorite, but realistically, especially this last year, Ultraphobic is my favorite. Doggy Dog is my absolute second favorite, and this is definitely.
What do you like about them, Ultraphobic?
Ultraphobic, I like the songwriting a lot, and maybe
what song do you like the best on that album?
The song on Ultraphobic. I want to say Follow.
Follow, that's a good one.
Yeah, Follow and Family Picnic. I go back and forth with those two. I mean, but when you want to talk about ballads, I mean, Stronger Now on Ultraphobic is.
Oh yeah,
one of the best I ever thought he did.
And what about on Dog Eat Dog?
Oh, Dog Eat Dog.
What was the name of that ballad? That was.
Well, we had A Bitter Pill, Let It Rain.
Let It Rain.
And then
that is a heart-wrenching, like, if there's truth behind that song, this guy just had a ton of pain. But I mean, it came out, it worked for him, it came out in his writing, which is, I mean, the lyrics of that one are we'd have to do that album too. I would do that album.
Yeah, I mean, and then plus you have April 2031 and Andy Warhol Was Right. I mean, those two songs right there, his songwriting, it just shows you anybody that trashed him on his first 2 albums of just writing, party anthems and love songs.
Yeah.
Listen to those 2 songs and the man can write.
Absolutely. And he kind of changed with the times too. Like a lot of these bands just stay the same and they'll write the same kind of music, but you could definitely tell, Ultraphobic and Dog Eat Dog, like way different than Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich and Cherry Pie.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like it could be 2 different bands almost,
Yeah. Now you didn't.
Which probably had a lot to do with they weren't the same band.
No. Yeah, I mean, well, again, with this album, they say that the band didn't play, which is always funny because I remember when Cherry Pie came out, my cousin said to me, my cousin was a huge fan of this album, and
Yeah.
he said to me when Cherry Pie came out, he goes, "Oh wow, the drummer learned how to play drums." And I was funny because that was back then, but many years later, when I found out, well, he didn't really play the drums on the first album, so the poor guy, because and it's true. I think the drumming is better on Cherry Pie, and especially on I don't know what the issue was. I mean, from what I
Well, I
understand,
think he was trying to get down at the beginning to the Down Boys, like we were talking about before. He just couldn't get it down.
yeah, it's crazy. But I actually been listening to there's a book out by the singer. I'm not sorry, the bass player of Hole, and it's about the '90s, and Hole lost their drummer due to their third album. The producer fired the drummer,
Okay.
and they talked about it in the because I'm doing an audio book. I don't have the patience to read, but that how common it was that in the industries in the '80s and '90s where those people didn't play on the albums and we had no idea.
Wow.
It's so common.
And why would they do something like that?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Now, these guys have got to be a little offended and insulted. I mean, they're professional musicians. Like, they're not good enough to play on the album, just live. Like, I don't get the reasoning behind that. Like,
yeah.
I don't tend to know anything about the music business, but do you have that shed any light on that? Why they do that?
It just sometimes in the whole case, the producer was known for that, and when they hired the producer, they said, "Don't start your crap with us when we get in the studio. That our drummer needs to go." And they said they were like 2 weeks into it, and the drummer's like, he's like, "The drummer's got to go."
Wow.
And because he had a friend, I even
I was going to say, the more of them getting their friends' work, and that's a payday for them, or
even what's his name? Steve Gorman from Black Crowes was almost replaced in the studio on the first album because he had never recorded before, and he didn't have, not used to using the click track. And when they were putting the click track on, it was messing him up. And, he was getting so mad because he plays these songs all the time live. And, what are you telling me? I'm not good enough to do it. But he finally it kicked in after a couple of weeks. But sometimes it's also alcohol, drugs,
Sure. Well, then Mötley Crüe never would have played on an album.
As much as I love that band, and there is so much controversy, that I know it's true that Tommy and Mick always played their parts, but there's a lot of controversy about Nikki Sixx playing bass. If you
you hear all the time that it's pre-recorded at the concert.
Yeah. And then
but going back to the other thing we were just talking about before I forget. So if they bring in different musicians to play on an album, and it's the real band playing live, who gets all the proceeds from the album? The band, or do the musicians get a part, or is it like this is one set fee you're going to get for this album, and then the band gets all the royalties?
Yeah, they're considered ghost performers, so they get a fee for the album, and 95% of the time, they don't even get mentioned on the album. It gets leaked out years later. Just like for this band and for Hole, like the people who were in the band were told they were playing in the band. I mean, like Smashing Pumpkins, they've been around for I think 40 years. The original bass player never played like one song on one album. Billy Corgan played bass on every album and guitar, but he made sure their names were there and gave them credit to play it all along. Which is it nice? Yeah. Is it maybe not the right thing to do? I think this has a lot to do with studio control, the budget of the album. They come in and if they don't got their crap together, then that happens.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to wrangle 4, 5, 6 of these guys back in the '80s and to all be sober at the same time. I'm sure that was a task all in itself.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, again, I've spent a couple times partying with Jerry Dixon and Eric Turner backstage, and whew, man, those people drank. I'd
Yeah.
be sitting there nursing my
Well,
one
yeah, they
beer.
even do it on stage. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like I'd go to a concert and have two beers the whole night, and they could have them before, after, and.
they're going to sweat it all out on stage. It's okay.
Absolutely. All right. Well, this was a good one. Thank you, Mike. I'm so
Thanks
glad
for having me. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about tackling something different. But in the meantime, again, to the listeners, if you've never heard this album, which I'm hoping when we do these, some people have never heard of these albums, but they are kind
Yeah.
of popular ones. But
Oh,
listen,
speaking of that, like I sent you the video that like my favorite new thing to watch on YouTube are people's first reaction to all these 80s videos. And it'll be a lot of rappers and they're watching like Guns N' Roses and Warrant and they're like, oh my God, they all love it. Like, this is amazing. Like, it's cool to see that like this music can, like cross lines and everybody can enjoy it because it's relatable, But
Yeah.
check that stuff out if you've never seen that. It's fun to watch.
I used to watch a couple that did that, and they were young. They were like in their 20s, and they would
Yeah.
be playing all the 80s stuff, and they'd go, "Oh my God, I've never heard this, and it's so
Yeah.
good."
Yeah,
It's
you got to see their faces when like Sebastian hits those high notes and I Remember You, or like they're watching Freddie Mercury or Meatloaf. Like it's hilarious to watch.
yeah. I whatchamacallit, and that was the whole purpose of me doing this show is, I wanted to, eventually we're going to, deep dive some albums that are not going to be as popular as this one and really try to expand people's mind. Cause there's some good albums out there that really didn't, do well, but they're really good.
Ultraphobic.
Yeah. Ultraphobic. And, even Britney Fox's second album is like phenomenal. And a lot of people don't even know who Britney Fox is,
Right.
That album was for Boys in the Heat. That was a great album. White Lion, Main Attraction is a great. Actually, White Lion's first album, Fight to Survival, is like a classic that nobody's gonna know.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of those bands that they were around the same time, but they never got as popular. But I thought they were just as good. L.A. Guns and Faster Pussycat. Like we just saw them 3 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, still put on an amazing show.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of these bands a lot of them are gone, but a lot of them are bouncing back and performing better. I mean, especially Ricky Rocket. I saw him say the other day that he did a show with Take Me Down and not Ricky Rockman. I'm sorry, Ricky Rackman.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say.
Ricky Rackman said that he thinks Take Me Down is singing better now than he has ever has, because he's cleaning.
Well, I just saw a clip of him live playing with Slash and Duff and Gilby Clarke. Did you see that?
Yes,
it was a benefit for Jennifer, whatever. I don't know who she was, but apparently, she knew all these guys, and he did
It's So Easy.
Some Guns N' Roses. So he sounded great.
But the highlight of that too was Steven Adler was the drummer.
Yes.
They brought the original Guns N' Roses drummer up, which was
that Jennifer. That wasn't Tammy's ex-fiance, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad bringing it up, and I don't know who this girl Jennifer is that they did the benefit for.
Yeah, I just it's crazy because I actually know people that were on that cruise and that were friends with Faster Pussycat, and I don't want to get into it on here, but
we're talking about dirty rock.
So one of my friends' room was next to Tammy's when it happened. So I'll definitely fill you in on all that stuff, but I'm gonna have to look up what her name was. But I just know that it was not a very healthy relationship, and it was. We've talked
about that before. You've told me this story.
Yeah, it started earlier in the day and escalated in the night. All right, my brother. Thank you, everybody. Please like, subscribe. If you want us to dive on a certain album, tell me. Write it in the comments. Let me know. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.